So just a little bit of history about the area before we get started. Back before that was Adventure City, this whole area was known as Hobby City. Every single building that you see here was dedicated to a different art or craft. The building we just left was the Native American leather shop. Across the way, they used to sell model trains and cars. That brick building over there was a bakery. The big white house in the distance was a doll museum. And this was the original. Yes, I agree. This was the original building on the lot, though. This was the doll hospital. A grandmaster doll maker used to live here with his granddaughter Gianna, repairing dolls. Gianna came to live with Grandpa after her parents and brother died in a car accident when she was very young. So to make her feel better and to give her a sense of closure, Grandpa made her a little brother doll. Now, little brother, she treated him like her literal little brother. She took him everywhere. If they were on a car ride, he was buckled in the seat next to her. If they were having dinner, there was a place set for him at the table. That's how much she loved this doll. He came with her always, even when she grew up, inherited the dollhouse, and became a doll maker in her own right. Whenever she was working in the first floor workshop, she'd have little brother right there next to her to lend her that moral support. And that her customers, they came to love him too. Whenever they were waiting for a service, they'd talk to the little brother, hang out with him. Whenever their doll was finished, they'd have play dates. He became like a Hobby City local celebrity. But all this changed when Gianna got old enough to start seeing the baker's son from across the way. Whenever he came over, little brother would just mysteriously disappear. Nobody knew where he was. And whenever asked, Gianna would say alarming things like, oh, little brother, he doesn't like my new boyfriend, or little brother, he's just not ready for his big sister to grow up, that kind of thing. It would raise a few eyebrows, but nobody ever pressed. Things escalated, though, a few years later when they decided to get married. When they did, they decided to get married at the old doll museum across the way and get ready before the wedding here in the dollhouse. Day of the wedding comes, hour of the wedding comes, and the bride and the groom, they're nowhere to be found. Their guests get concerned. They walk across the lot, knock on the door, but nobody answers. They get even more concerned. They let themselves inside. They don't find Gianna or her husband-to-be or even little brother. What they find is blood covering the walls of the second floor and 2 new dolls in the collection. On the third floor, locked in glass boxes, they found a bride doll and a groom doll facing a wedding altar across the room that they could never get to. The wedding guests, they knew the message immediately. Someone didn't approve of this wedding, and that someone had done whatever he had to stop it. They got even more afraid. They called the police. The police came in, did an investigation, took blood samples, confirmed that blood belonged to Gianna and her husband-to-be, but they couldn't comment on those new dolls. They had no idea how long they were in the collection. So they took their investigation out of the community, and quite quickly the case went cold and the dollhouse was left abandoned. Year after year, month after month, nobody came in, nobody came out, but Hobby City still thrived. They still had people who needed to buy their model trains, their baked goods, see the doll museum, and those customers soon after started to ask odd questions about the little man they saw in the window of the dollhouse, about the pitter-patter of little feet as they walked by, about the little brother who was protecting his bride and his groom. Your mission tonight is to rescue them. It's to work your way up through the house, solving all the puzzles, to free the bride and the groom from little brother, and to get them to that wedding altar on the 3rd floor. They say if you can marry them, they'll be healed, they can live happily ever after, and you can leave. If you can't, well, let's see what happens if you can't. Welcome to the Dollhouse, you guys.
What's up, makers? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Nate Javier.
And I'm Alan Simpson.
And we're here with our friend Seth at Puzzlemazement. Hi, Seth.
Hi.
We have a group doing a couple rooms here, and we actually wanted to talk to you about one of our favorite rooms at this location, Dollhouse.
Ooh, I love Dollhouse.
Such a good room. If you have never done an escape room before, you should go try one. We can actually, up there in the corner, we'll link our intro video to escape rooms, our little 101, so you know how to get started with it. If you can, check that out after this video. Don't leave this one. Wait till after. So if you've been watching our channel, you know that we love to do magic. We love being a part of the magic community. You know what our life is like. and you know that we're trying to get more involved with escape rooms, putting quality escape room content here on the channel. That's something that's been missing for a long time, and I think that we can be the pioneers for it.
Yes, we can.
BB Bach.
Absolutely. What we like about this room, that it's not like your average one-story room. It's actually 3 stories. 3 stories of not horror, but creepiness.
It's a thriller.
Yeah, creepy thriller. I mean, if you don't like dolls, go do it. It's great.
Dollhouse is an amazing story. I mean, you saw the intro and you heard the intro by our buddy Seth. When you come play it, say hi to him, tell him makers sent you, Nate and Alan. So it's actually based in an actual house, a 3-story house that's right next door to the HQ for Puzzlemazement, the company that we're at. You have to make your way to the top level to complete the task and help free the bride and groom.
Yes, and not only that, it's actually based on true history here in Orange County.
Yep.
So that's what makes the room a little bit more creepier, but also a little bit more fun.
And if you've never been to this area or you want to check this out, we're actually right behind Adventure City off of Beach and Ball in Anaheim, California. It's a hidden parking lot through this weird green gate, and it's going to be a log cabin next to a 3-story house. So this room is great for beginners. This is great for intermediate, advanced. It's got something for everybody. The puzzle levels are so much fun. It's very cognitive. We're not going to spoil anything. We're never going to spoil anything on a review for you guys. But what's amazing is each level has a different set of puzzles. There's not going to be a repeated puzzle through it. It's going to test your limits and see how well you and your friends communicate.
And each like you said, each level has a different set of riddles and puzzles to solve, and it also gets your mind going because you never know what kind of riddles and puzzles you're going to bump into. You may encounter some puzzles and riddles that you've done in other previous rooms, but if this is your first time, then they're not that hard to figure out.
It's very easy to overthink in Dollhouse. It's something that we both are guilty of, extremely guilty of. But it's worth it. I got to play the beta of it, the 1.0, the beta for their 2.0 and their 2.0. I've seen it in different iterations, and it's generally the same plot, but the puzzles have been changed up over time, and it's hilarious and amazing to get to watch other players experience this story.
So the set design in Dollhouse is none other like any other room. So it's like going to your grandma's house and going to that one room where she has all those dolls just displayed and just staring at you menacingly.
That's one way to get people to come check it out. It's true though, the set design, it looks like a house, it acts like a house, it smells like your grandma's house.
Kind of does.
The set design's amazing. It makes you feel like you're in this weird environment that fits the story. There are plenty of dolls everywhere. A lot of everything is interactive. I mean, most escape rooms, you shouldn't break things. If you can't use more than 2 or 3 fingers at a time to push something, it's probably not meant to move. All those typical escape room rules, but it does require you to get involved in the puzzling and interact with your environment in different ways.
Plus, I feel like this is a multi-linear room where you can also spread out because there's so many puzzles and riddles in this one 3-story house that you can just disperse and use your brains in one puzzle while the other people go off and figure out and solve another puzzle.
Another thing is, like, it's a hidden gem tucked away here in Anaheim. There aren't really any other places. I believe this is the first 3-story escape room in the US that we know of.
And it's here in our hometown.
Pretty awesome. I definitely would say come check this out. I would recommend between 4 to 6 or 7 players at a time to play it. Don't be stupid like we usually do and just come in terrible twos. I would suggest get your friend, and then because there's only you two, find your friend's sibling and probably that distant person that you haven't talked to in years. The 4 of you at least can go play. But I would say, would you say, would agree, like the player count is like between 4 and 6/7?
Yeah, no more, no less.
You can get overcrowded in an escape room and it's very easy here, but having a variety of people around will allow you to communicate properly with some of the puzzles that are going on at that time. And that's all we can say. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was all about Dollhouse. We're gonna leave a link down below where you guys can come check it out. You guys can book it, and when you come by, tell Seth we say hi.
Oh yes, of course. And if you click right down here, it's a playlist that we put together just for you.
And if you smack this bottom link right here, it's a video YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, keep making that magic.